Welcome to episode number 42 of People Are Terrible. I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined as always with Caleb Miles. What's up, Caleb?
What's up, man? Looking for weird news stories as we speak.
42 episodes.
So that's a long time. And really, we're more than that because remember, we deleted a ton of them.
What, like 20? Like 15?
Yeah, so
Something
we're
like that.
Yeah, we're like 60 episodes in.
How many weeks are in a year?
52.
52 weeks in a year. See, then we've pretty much been doing it for a year consecutively.
Yeah, that's a pretty long time. And then the movies are terrible is what started it. So it's been over a year.
I'm just blown away at our growth. Like, it's like every
I know.
episode we get, ones
We're
of twos more
monumental.
viewers.
We'll be able
Fuck
to buy houses pretty soon.
Yeah. I love it, dude. People, like, friends of mine are hitting me up like, man, what do you think about the COPPA thing? And I'm like, I think it doesn't pertain to you. Why are you such a narcissist? You get fucking 100 views a video. Calm down.
Yeah, it's not going to pertain to you.
No.
I wish we were at a level where I had to worry about this.
Dude, I want to stoke the controversy just to get clicks. Like, I don't know. I changed the settings on the channel to all child-friendly content, so I'm just waiting now.
And we're going to start playing with action figures while we talk about controversial subjects.
Yes, yeah. I don't. It's another thing for people to jump onto. There was this other thing I was reading on Facebook the other day. A lot of people are sharing this narrative that that Uber and Lyft are like kidnapping people for child trafficking or for sex ring trafficking. Shit's just kind of racist.
Of course.
It's like, I got into an Uber the other day, and the woman could barely understand English, and she had a really thick, like, Mexican accent. I think she was trying to kidnap me, and it's like
no, you're just racist.
Yeah, that's just textbook racism. You're fine. But a lot of people have been sharing
You're in the
it.
car with a Mexican. You're fine.
Did you hear the story I'm talking about? It was
no, I'd never even heard about
Florida Uber. Dude, the leap in logic is what is so amazing to me, because when you hear, okay, let's see. Tourist Uber warning goes viral, but detectives or police departments say, you nuts. Let's see, what do they say? No, I don't want your Black Friday deals, damn it.
Did you go out for Black Friday?
I stayed in for Black Friday. I got some shit.
We had to run to get to Target to get toilet paper, so we had to go.
Oh, nice.
And it was a ghost town.
Was it really?
There was no. I even asked the cashier. I'm like, they still had like doorbuster stuff out, like things that were like TVs with big signs, like doorbusters. They were still there, and we went at like 2:00.
So y'all didn't get? Did you buy anything on like Cyber Wednesday or any of that shit?
No, but we did buy. We bought. Here's how we know we're getting old. We made one purchase that we were very excited about. We bought a 28-piece set of Tupperware for like $6.
Nice.
And we were very happy about this. We're like, we need this. I'm like, oh my God, we're officially old.
That's a good buy, man. It's a good buy. My problem with Tupperware is no matter how nice it is, when you get big sets like that, inevitably within 2 months, you're not going to have any of the fucking lids left for it.
Oh, I know. We always get those like cheap disposable ones, then we use the shit out of them until they're like stained.
Yeah, like you've microwaved a hole in the side of them.
And then I'm like, okay, it's time to get new ones.
Okay, so real quick before we jump into this shit, a woman sparked mass panic among Uber users after claiming in a viral Facebook post that she was nearly kidnapped by a sex trafficker after getting in the wrong car. Emmy Hurley claimed she had a terrifying experience in Tampa after ordering an Uber. She hopped in the rideshare and had no idea anything was amiss as they drove off. It wasn't until she received a phone call from her actual Uber driver that she realized the mistake she had made. Last night, I was picked up by an Uber. Same car, female driver. All cap locks. I made a mistake. I got in before checking as she opened the back door for me from her seat. She said the woman she thought was her Uber driver drove around erratically for 10 minutes and didn't speak to her when she got in the car. After about 10 minutes in, my actual driver called me asking where I was. My voice cracked because I instantly knew I was in a car. I think I need help. She then claimed that she asked the driver to stop, but the driver refused. I told her she was driving by my friends, a random girl I saw, and that they would call the cops. She slowed a little, pointing her phone, saying, "Uber, I take you back then." And she told me she wanted to drop me off where she told me where she wanted to drop me off, and I jumped out of the moving car when the driver didn't comply. Anyways, all of this said to say that the police launched an investigation, looked into it, and
And
were
it's
like,
all
look,
bullshit.
it was just a misunderstanding. Like, she definitely did get into the wrong Uber car. There was Uber cars waiting at the fucking airport. That's totally normal, you know?
Yeah, it's everybody wants to make everything sound more extravagant for social media clout.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. So now, like, there are people sharing warnings, like, you know, be careful because people are getting abducted for fucking sex trafficking rings. And it's like, there have been a couple of horrible stories about Uber drivers. Like, there was a murder, where a girl thought she was getting into an Uber and it actually wasn't. But for the most part, this is just like
Social
fear
media
mongering.
bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like there's so much of this now where it's people, even like when you see outrage. I saw someone freaking out about outrage about the new Star Wars, how men are so mad, something about Mandalorian, about some girl in it. I don't know. And I'm like, that's probably like two people on the internet. Like, no one
Yeah.
cared. Like, it's not really a controversy. It's going to become one because you're talking about it, but
Yeah, that's so much of that. So much of that. One person will say some shit on Twitter, and then they'll write
yeah.
an article about it. Like it is actually a big thing that people are losing sleep over, but in actuality, nobody cared until you said they cared.
Yep, that's exactly how it is. Man, I'm having a hard time finding weird news. I got the weird Florida.
Oh, good. Well, then I got you covered on the other. So,
Okay.
all right, guys. If this is your first time checking out People Are Terrible, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. We always start off with some of the week's weird news. Excuse me, there. Week's weird news headlines and the weird weird news. the worldwide weird.
news.
And then we're going to talk about some Florida man headlines before moving into each of our weekly topics. As we're rounding out 2019, I thought it would be fun to kind of look back at some of the biggest moments from the past year, and that's what my topic is. And then Caleb, what is your topic?
What was my topic? I sent you it last night, like with not even thinking about it.
Life-changing events.
Oh yeah, the events that changed you as a person. Yep.
I got one. No, I'm just
Shows
joking.
you how prepared I am. I don't even know my own fucking topic.
So we're going to go ahead and start it off as we do with the Worldwide Weird segment. And this is one of my favorites. I debated on whether I should put this in the weird news or whether I should put this in my favorites from the year. But I got to sit on it for at least a couple more days before I can decide if it actually goes in the pantheon. But did you see the interview with the founder of Papa John's?
No, I heard about it, but I didn't like research it at all.
He ate 40 pizzas in 30 days.
Yeah, what was the 40 pizzas in 30 days thing?
The man looks so damp. Like, I don't know what's up with him, man. He looks like, I mean, he's obviously about 60, but he's got like that Jerry curl jet black hair, which I'm sure is dyed and then like overstyled with like gel or anyways. His name is John Schnatter, and he's harshly criticized what's become of the company he founded in 1984. And this is after an interview which was conducted where he just repeatedly dropped the N-bomb and was forced to step down from his own company. The person who took over is previously been in the pizza game, but they were not in the pizza category. Let's take a look at this. Schnatter said in an interview broadcast Monday with Kentucky TV station WDRB that the quality of food at the Papa John's chain has drastically shifted for the worse since he was ousted in July 2018. Quote, "I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days, and it's not the same pizza. It's not the same product. It just doesn't taste as good. The way they're making the pizza is just not fundamental to what makes a Papa John's pizza." Schnatter, 58, who founded Papa John's in 84, resigned as the board chairman in July after he reports that he used a racial slur in a conference call earlier that year. He quit as the CEO in the previous December after an outcry over the criticism of the NFL players kneeling during the national anthem to protest injustice. He acknowledged in the interview that he used the slur, but said he was quoting someone else to demonstrate his hatred of racism. He called the conference call a farce. Another quote, I just didn't know what would happen from the people inside doing this. I thought it would come from the outside, I guess, saying that he didn't think he was going to be ousted by people in his company. He says Steve Ritchie, Olivia Kirtley, the board of directors all use the black community and race as a way to steal the company. They stole the company and now they've destroyed the company. He said they should be in jail because what they did is just wrong and they've hurt a lot of people.
Okay. So, yeah, he's freaking out because he got ousted. Now, did he actually quote someone or did he do? And now that's kind of the part that makes me curious. Did he actually quote someone or did he just drop an N-word?
I'm trying my best to find any, I wanted audio, I wanted transcripts. I don't see anything about it, but it is different if he says,
if you're using that as an example, of how stupid racism is, I don't know. To me, that's like writing a racist character in a movie. It doesn't make you racist.
That's a tricky thing, though, because while I agree with you, if you're mocking a redneck and you say,
yes,
I hate whatever, then it's different. The intent is different than if you say, I personally hate.
Yes.
Blank. However, just to err on the side of caution, if you're the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, just self-censor. Just don't say the thing.
Well, it was like when the guy, I'm going to be derailing this, but it was like when the guy at Netflix, he was doing a press conference with his internal people, and he was talking about how they're trying to think about a way to put tags on racist content, this stuff that might be offensive, kind of trigger warning content. So he's like, for example, someone says this, or someone says I hate, and he uses the N-word.
Oh,
we would block that, or and people lost their shit on him. And I'm like, yo, he was clearly not racist. He was actually doing something trying to prevent this.
But when you hear the word is what makes your butt pucker. It's everything else about the sentiment is right, but you just have to know you can't. It's no matter what your intention was, it's gonna get fucked up.
Oh yeah, and so of course he got in so much trouble, and I was literally on his side. I'm like, this dude's didn't do anything wrong. He just actually, instead of self-censoring and saying N-word, he actually said it. But it was he said, we want to figure out a way to block things like this or whatever.
I totally am in the camp, and I think you're probably on the same page. I think words are stupid. I don't give a fuck about a word.
They don't offend me unless how they're used offends me.
You couldn't barely offend me, but I come from a place of I get to be removed from this shit. There's literally nothing that you could say that would offend me. Literally not a fucking thing you could say that would offend me. But I don't have the same life experiences. I remember being called a racial slur and thinking it was really, really funny. But that's privilege, right? I mean, that's the difference is that when somebody calls me a cracker, I get to be like, ha, 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 ha. Sucks to be white, I guess.
I've been called a racial slur while being physically attacked. Yeah. And I still think you can say the racial slur to me with a baseball bat. I've had a very direct exposure to overt racism. I was assaulted for being white with baseball bats.
Damn.
So I completely, and that being said, those dudes were dicks. Fuck them. Fuck racism. You guys, someone says it to me, depending on the context, or says the word depending on the context. And you said it right now and I wasn't offended.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, I don't like the N-word. I don't use it.
No.
I don't know. Context is important. That's why with the Papa John's thing, I'm like, well, I kind of want to hear the audio now. I know I'm derailing your story, but it kind of is interesting to me.
I don't have the whole audio, but I do have this. Let's see.
I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. Living currently in Mark Shapiro should be in jail. He has no pizza experience. He's never been in the pizza category. I would just say, stay tuned. The day of reckoning will come. The record will be straight.
Why not set the record straight now? I mean, what is it about the record that's not straight?
Stay tuned.
What the hell? Is he drunk?
In the last 30 days.
He sounds like it.
Yeah. I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days.
Bro, why have you had 40 pizzas in the last 30 days?
That also, not to help his case, does sound like someone that might use the N-word.
Yeah, I just why? What's the matter, dude? What's the matter? Did you like lose everything when you lost your job as CEO? Why are you eating pizzas for breakfast? Or like
40 pizzas in 30 days is a lot of pizza. He also looks like like you said, like that plastic jet black hair. He has like a weird late John Travolta look going on.
yes, dude. Yes. Like he looks like he may, I don't know. He's clinging on to whatever bit of youth he can out of that hair, but that is not.
Oh, eating fucking 40 pizzas in 30 days is not going to help him cling on to you.
He looks so glossy, dude. Like just shiny.
Why do people think that looks good? Stretching your skin until it shines.
I don't know, man. 40 pizzas in 30 days. I mean, he doesn't specify what size the pizzas are. Even if they were personal pan or like the
Still a
little
ton.
mini pizzas. Dude, that's how you die of a heart attack.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Like I'm surprised he didn't die of a heart attack in this episode, in this interview.
I had 40. All right. Well, thank you, Papa John. We appreciate you for what you've done for this week's episode of the show. What is next, Caleb? You got something other than
I don't
Florida
have
Man?
anything for weird news.
Okay.
I got Florida.
All right, this is fucked up. No, not one drop of blood. This is from NPR. Cattle mysteriously mutilated in Oregon. So this is back from in October, but I'm just first hearing about it. And in the early morning light, dust from hooves creates a fire. Oh, come on, let's get to it. Coming upon one of the dead bulls is an eerie scene. The forest is hot and still, apart from a raven's repeating call. You know this is a fucking NPR article. Tell me about the dead bulls.
Yes, this is NPR so much.
I can hear the fucking voice on the NPR radio story right here, but it says the bull looks like a giant deflated plush toy. It smells. Weirdly, there are no signs of buzzards, coyotes, or scavengers. His red coat is as shiny as if it were going to the fair, but he's bloodless, and his tongue and genitals have surgically been cut out. So apparently there's this person that's sneaking around the wilderness up there in Oregon and like removing organs, blood, and bones from the inside of these cattle and leaving them there. I mean, it is some
That's
straight up
weird.
chupacabra shit.
That's like very like X-Files episode.
Yes, 100%, man. So this quote, this is from Theories Abound, which is a sub part of this article. Somebody says, a lot of people lean towards, of course, the aliens. One caller had told us to look for basically a depression under the carcass because he said that the alien ships will kind of beam up the cow and do whatever they're going to do. Then they just drop them from a great height. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
That's yeah. So, but there has to be some logical explanation of someone who's actually doing this.
It is a weird thing to think. Go ahead.
It's an X-Files episode, is what it is. I actually found a good weird news.
So they're willing to pay up to $25,000 reward for information that could solve the case. And just so everybody knows, the irony is not lost on me. Like, we cut up and dismember fucking cows every single day by the millions, and nobody's got anything to say about it.
Well, some people do, but
yeah. Nobody that I give a shit about has anything to say about it. All right, what you got?
So I sent you a link for this to your Twitter. Popeye, quote, like quotes, Popeye bodybuilder has 3 pounds of dead muscle removed after injecting his biceps.
Oh, we got another one, huh?
Yeah, did we cover this one?
No. We normally cover people who inject stuff into themselves, though. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, you gotta see the picture. See that?
Oh my God, bro. Let me pull this up for them to get a good gander at.
That's why I had
That
to send it
is
to you.
fucked up looking.
So, a former soldier who earned the nickname Popeye after injecting his arms with jelly to create bulging biceps has to undergo surgery to save his life. Kirill Tereshin, 23, was warned he could have died or need both of his arms amputated because of artificial biceps he had created. Lead surgeon Dmitry Melkonov said his team.
I'm going through here looking for, like, is it grape jelly, strawberry jelly? No,
I'm like,
it's petroleum jelly.
I'm like, what is he injecting?
It's petroleum jelly. He's squirting fucking petroleum jelly into his arms.
Like, did you scroll down? There's a picture of him with a girl. Like that when his arms were quote unquote okay. It still doesn't look good.
That looks so ridiculous.
like your arms, if you were working out, would not be that big in that spot, and they would be big other places.
Dude, you see that? It looks like a fucking cow heart or something.
Dude, it looks like two giant fucking testicles.
That is disgusting. And of course, like, I didn't have to. When you said soldier, I was like, oh yeah, Russian soldier. There's no fucking way this shit happened anywhere else other than Russia.
This is yeah, this is unreal. And it's one of those things you can't even feel bad for him because you're like, dude, you're an idiot.
Fucking
Like,
idiot.
Even if you lost your arms, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have felt bad for you.
No, and like, and I'm not condoning this kind of thing. I'm trying to rationalize it. I'm not even trying to speak properly. I'm just trying to fucking blah, 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 get it out there. Why are you gonna go that big? Why are you gonna go that big? Why don't you go halfway there and hope that people don't notice? Because those arms do not match that torso. That's fucking retarded looking.
Yeah, and it literally like killed his muscles, which makes sense.
Oh man.
3 liters he put into each arm.
How much?
3 liters each arm.
Bro. That's disgusting.
The surgeon said, quote, petroleum jelly is not designed for injection.
No.
Really.
And you shouldn't have to say it, you know?
You shouldn't have to. His whole body. So apparently it ruins your kidneys in Russia, plastic surgeon.
So let's recap though. Like, we've had people inject into their penis.
Yep. We had people inject
semen into their arm. What was that for?
Which one?
Semen into the arm.
Oh, it was something because like it was to cure an illness or something, he thought. And then there was the lady who put like a shake, like a smoothie.
Oh,
remember, she thought vitamins were good. So she put it directly into her blood.
Yeah. Yes. And I think most of these things happen on the other side of the world. I don't think most of these were happening in America. Wait.
No, they actually weren't. This is one of the things we can proudly say. Apparently, we don't do as bad as some other countries.
Yeah. Man injected semen into his own arm to cure back pain. Thought it was like a stem cell thing. Man, people are insane.
Right. Like, I just want to know, like, the muscle thing, it's stupid, but I understand. He's like, well, I'll fill it with, I don't get petroleum jelly, but I'll fill it and it'll look like I have big muscles. Like, I get it. But I don't understand the person who's like, my back hurts. I wonder if semen injected in will. Like, I would love to just sit with this dude and watch him go through the thought process of from point A to point B.
I would love to see this guy, this Kirill Tereshin guy, actually like have a conversation with like a fitness person or like somebody who actually is like a bodybuilder or weightlifter, and just be like, whatever you have going on there is not legit. Like, that is all sorts of fucked up looking.
Like, that's not even. Well, and then too, I would like to see him try to lift something, because this guy's not lifting anything.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All right. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's almost like cosmetic surgery. People taking the lazy way to get the results that they want instead of actually having to like work for it.
It's crazy, man.
Classic. All right, so Washington movie theater evacuated after highly contagious package of urine sent to wrong address.
Nice.
A movie theater in Washington state resembled a scene out of a disaster flick on Friday night after a box with a dire warning was left outside the building, triggering an evacuation after urine samples were sent to the wrong address. So it sounds like somebody just mistakenly sent like a drug test or something, or like a urine test to a movie theater instead of to wherever it was supposed to go.
Do they send urine tests through the mail?
This is all weird to me, man. Urine samples were sent to the wrong. Okay, so it was probably like a shipment, like a medical shipment, and on the outside of the box, it was marked with a sticker saying highly contagious human substance, and it had been opened up. A total of 5 hazmat techs arrived at the theater to analyze the package as the building was evacuated and nearby streets closed as authorities tried to determine what was inside the package.
The guy's like, man, this popcorn butter looks real thin.
Yeah, viscosity's not quite what I remembered.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes more sense. I thought it was like an individual, like
mailed in their drug.
Yeah, I was like, where does this happen? But that makes a lot more sense. Like, it was a thing of urine samples. That's actually kind of terrifying.
If it feels like much ado about nothing to me, it's like it's a box of piss. You know, you guys are gonna go into the restroom and it is full of
Yeah,
just as much hazardous material.
but depending what's in that piss. I mean, granted, someone could be walking around with stuff. My wife works in a surgery unit, and their piss can be deadly as shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, just I don't know about your theater situation, but just walking into the bathroom at most theaters is just such a pungent, fucking overwhelming
Dude,
smell.
Alien Covenant. I walked in and walked right up to a urinal of piss and stepped in a giant puddle of piss. Like someone just pissed all over the floor.
I
So
hate that.
literally the whole movie, I smelled like piss and I knew people could smell it. So I'm like, fuck.
And it was you, but it
It-
wasn't your piss.
Yes. So I was
That
like,
sucks.
man, people think I pissed my fucking pants probably.
That sucks.
And even my brother's like, dude, do you smell piss? I'm like, yeah, dude, I stepped in a giant piss puddle.
It's me.
It's me. Like it was the worst thing. It like reeked.
That sucks. That really sucks.
And it was like this like yellow piss. Like this person been surviving on nothing but coffee and Gatorade for 2 weeks.
and that's why people stay at home.
Yeah,
Like
that's exactly
that
why.
reason right there. All right, one more, and then we'll move on to the Florida man segment. This is an Arizona teen, 17, becomes trapped in chimney after trying to get in locked house. This is Gremlins tragedy in the making. No, Santa didn't come early to one Arizona residence. Instead, firefighters who responded Wednesday night to a Phoenix home found a 17-year-old girl in the chimney who had gotten stuck as she tried to sneak back into her house after a late night. Yikes.
The big plot twist that came was that it was a girl. This seems like some dumb boy shit.
Bro, I mean, yeah, and that's a ballsy move. Like you snuck out, you don't want to get caught, so you're like, I'm gonna try to go down the chimney. And how do you go down? Do you think she tried to like repel? Or do
Or
you
she
think
just tried to like walk down it with her hands and her feet.
or was it like a free fall? Like she's just like, I'm just gonna drop in. I wonder what she was thinking.
Well, and my thing is, that doesn't seem more stealthy than going in a window or a door. I guess it was locked, but she must have got out of a window somehow.
She thought about going down the chimney. I didn't know it was blocked in the bottom. I never thought it was blocked on the bottom. So I went down and started freaking out. So apparently, yeah, like there's that, what they call like a loom? What do they call it? Flume?
I have no idea.
Well, it's like the ventilation thing to
Yeah.
keep shit from getting into your house when you're not having the fire. So she got all the way down to the bottom. And then, yeah, I mean, I would fucking have a claustrophobia thing.
Oh, yeah. That's terrifying.
Super scary.
17, like it's not a kid. I mean, she should know better.
Yeah. I mean, I would just have to swallow my pride and just knock on the door and be like, yeah, well, I'll take my lashes. You know what I mean?
100%. I would much rather get in trouble than get stuck in a chimney.
I mean, if the monologue from Phoebe Cates is not playing out in your head when you're stuck in there, then you just she's 17. She probably don't even know what Gremlins is.
No, she probably doesn't. You know, this would be totally lost on her.
You know the scene, right?
Yeah, that's I haven't seen Gremlins. Actually, no, I watched it like 2 years ago. I lie.
I gotta say that is what makes Gremlins like one of the best Christmas movies ever. Is just like how fucking nihilistic and dark but hilarious that whole story is.
Oh yeah, I actually like Gremlins 2 better though. I know it's sacrilege to say, but
I get it. They're just such different movies.
they're very different films.
I really do like all the effects work in Gremlins, the new batch, but I'm a Gremlins purist myself.
Man, yeah, no, I definitely like Gremlins 2. I like them all though. I mean, they're good movies.
I like Joe Dante, man. That guy. Except like he didn't
Did Joe
really
Dante-
keep making good movies. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yep, he's the guy. He's that guy. He did Piranha in 1978, and then he did Howling and Gremlins, and then that was about all the good ones he made.
In my head, had someone totally different. I didn't have Joe Dante.
Let me see what else Joe Dante did that was good. I know he made like Small Soldiers, which was not awesome.
I loved Small Soldiers as a kid. Does not hold up as an adult.
No, that same deal. I'm not gonna act like I never thought it was cool. I definitely did. Let's see. He did The Burbs. That was all right.
Oh, I love The Burbs.
Inner Space.
Inner Space is great.
Matinee, that one was cool.
Is that the one with the bugs? The John?
Yeah.
Okay,
John
yeah.
Goodman.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Didn't like it as a kid. I might like it as an adult.
I hadn't seen it in forever either. And then he did
The Burbs was one that I hated as a kid and loved as an adult.
yeah. I actually just watched The Burbs for the first time this year.
Really? My mom and dad loved it when we were kids. And I always hated it. Now I was like, yeah, I kind of like it.
It's so weird to think that Joe Dante started on Piranha, and then James Cameron's first directorial debut was Piranha 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learned something new. See, we educate the people on our podcast.
That's what they keep coming back for, baby. Both of them. What's up, German Rifter and Hacks Against Hacks?
Ooh, the two people who always come back.
We're sorry about that.
We're sorry we subject you to this week after week.
All right, well, I guess that's it. I guess that's our weird news headlines for the week. Caleb, you got some Florida man stuff picked out. Why don't you fire one at me?
So this one, I normally don't cover people who die, but this is something that you kind of, again, can't really feel too bad for him. Florida man hanging on window ledge of a car doing donuts dies in freak accident.
I love how they call it a freak accident. No, it was an inevitability. Really and truly it was.
So yeah, that's my thing. And he was young, so people do young things. He was 15, I think. So here's a man has died on a freak accident involving a vehicle that was doing donuts in an Olympia neighborhood in Wellington, Florida, according to reports. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office said the 21-year-old Troy Carabas was hanging outside of his 2019 Jeep Compass on the window ledge while the individual driving performed a donut maneuver in a cul-de-sac. However, the Jeep flipped and Carabas was thrown off, sustaining serious injuries. At the time, there were 8 other people inside the car, while the other individual, Anolia Soma, 15, was hanging outside the vehicle on the window ledge. 2 residents, Margie No and Andy Wen, who live in the cul-de-sac, saw the Jeep flip and rush out of the house. Man. So 2 girls got out from one top of the car on the passenger side. No told. Here, let me screw this. So yeah, the 21-year-old passed away as a result. And that's my thing is, like you said, this is not a freak accident. Don't hang out the window when someone's doing donuts.
And I've actually done that exact same thing in a Jeep Wrangler before.
Really?
It was about 10 years ago, and my buddy had just now got the Rubicon, and it was a beast. He had the big tires put on it. Me and you have talked before. People in Colorado obviously love Jeeps. People in Florida, like Jeeps are like the Florida Mobile.
You just said this last week. That's what I was saying. Now here's 2 Jeep stories.
Yeah, no, right? That is crazy. So we were at a wedding, and I mean, it was after the wedding that they had rented a couple of beach houses, and we were all hanging out. We were all drinking one night, and he wanted to drive the Wrangler over the sand dunes. And we all went and we got in it. You know, we had all the sides taken off and everything. So it was like open, and we're hanging on the cages on the outside of it. And he's going over dunes and into the fucking Gulf. I mean, we're taking that thing into like 3 foot of salt water. Ooh. It was the craziest thing. It was incredibly fun. It was also incredibly stupid. And this exact scenario that played out in that story is... the chances are really high of that happening anytime you try to do something like this. So, I mean, you just got to weigh the consequences, you know?
Well, and when the coolest thing you get out of it is impressing some of your friends, the consequences outweigh it.
Yeah, and it's or it's fun and you get a rush for a minute, but yeah, it's like we're talking about 10,000 pounds of fucking steel, you know? You definitely don't want to get pinned underneath a Jeep or thrown off onto, or underneath it, or any of the shitty things that could have happened.
Yeah, like what happened to this, well, I guess I can't say kid, he's 21, but what happened to this guy where that's pretty realistic outcome.
Yeah.
Like pretty high probability.
Yeah. And you don't want to like live your life, afraid of taking any sort of risks. But again, you just got to kind of weigh the risks and the rewards and decide, like, is this something that I am willing to fucking die for? All right, well, then probably shouldn't do it.
This reminds me of, do you remember when people would ghost ride the whip, that shit? They
No.
probably didn't do that in Florida.
Uh-uh.
Where they would like drive their car and then they'd slow down and they'd hop out of their car and dance alongside their car as their car rolled.
Oh, wow.
And then hop back in. And there were like people who would like, their foot would get caught on a tire and it'd pull them under, or they would roll up onto a curb and hit some people. And you're like, yeah, that's what happens when you're not inside it and it's going forward.
Yeah. No shit. No, I'm surprised I never heard of that thing before.
Yeah.
I gotta bring
There was
up
a whole song about it. That Ghost Ride the Whip. And you're just like, really? It was a horrible song too.
Oh, okay. It was too long ago. We're talking 2008 here. I don't even.
It was.
Is that the song?
Yep, this is the song. Ghost Ride the Whip. It's a horrible song too.
Oh, it's so stupid, dude.
It's so dumb.
All right, yeah. Don't ghost ride the whip.
Don't do donuts and hang out your car. Just don't. They're cars.
Yeah, just take them from point A to point B. That's what you need them for. Jeeps, they're tempting though, man. And it's like motorcycles, same deal. But then also, like I was saying, you don't want to live your life like totally afraid of like, why am I going to go bungee jumping if you could die from bungee jumping? Well,
Fuck God, why would you go bungee jumping?
I wouldn't, but I'm just saying if you want to, I'm not saying you shouldn't take any chances or take any risks. I'm just saying make sure it's worth it. But there's a lot of things that could kill you. Like every time you get in your car, it could kill you.
Well, I feel like too, people, I mean, and I feel the vast majority of people do this, but we need to have the attitude about cars that we do with like, well, again, some people don't have that attitude with guns either, but you should view cars the same way you view guns, where like, this is not a toy.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that could kill someone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just when you look at the number of car accidents we have, it's insane. You know, the number of drunk driving is like 30 people a day drive from drunk drivers in America. Like, it's crazy. You know how many people. So we need to have that attitude. These are not toys. These are things that can kill people and do kill a ton of people.
So when I was looking for Florida Man headlines, I really couldn't find anything that was like current that wasn't Super Graham. But I did go to WUSA Channel 9 CBS and found a ranking this year's top Florida Man articles. So we'll go through and see some of these. This one is from @Breaking911 on Twitter. Meanwhile, in Florida, man punches elderly man when told to stop masturbating at supermarket parking lot. Yeah,
naturally.
I mean, you don't want to get caught by the guy who was just now jacking off.
Yeah, if that, I'm probably letting them finish, because if someone's just sitting in a parking lot whacking it, they got some issues.
Yeah, like he hit me with the same hand. Ah!
Yeah. Like, I'm not fucking with that.
There's a lot of discussion about, is it okay to make fun of Florida Man? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
From a mobile home park in Palm Bay, this man has some ideas on how the military could stop hurricanes. All right, we're going to take a listen to this. This sounds like it could potentially be gold. Let's see here. I'm going to switch it on.
Can't see how they haven't come up with some kind of way to combat these storms yet. They keep saying, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, it's at this, but it's going to hit all this warm weather and warm water. We have a Navy. Why don't the Navy come and drop ice in the warm water so it can't get going as fast as it's going?
Fucking
There's got to
nailed
be
it.
ways to combat this instead of just pointing at the thing and saying, well, now it's getting worse.
What kind of accent is that? That
I was
is
just
not
gonna
a
say-
fucking Florida
I
accent.
was just gonna say that's some sort of East Coasty, Boston, Philly. Like, that's not a Florida man.
Get
That's
the
a man in
Navy out
Florida.
there. Get the fucking Navy out there. Drop some ice cubes in the water.
But it's going to hit all this warm weather.
It's like Rhode Island or like Boston.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, what do you think about that? I mean, that seems like a legit solution.
I think that's all we need is ice.
Get the Navy to drop some ice in the fucking water. Damn, dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Naked Florida man wearing bra burglarizes several cars. We knew that one.
Yeah,
Florida
that sounds
couple
pretty
caught having
standard.
sex in patrol car after DUI. We covered that one. Pool floats instead of rape. Love that one. Oh, that was one of my favorites. Just the way they
Honestly,
framed
they've
it.
all blurred together to where I don't even remember what's what anymore.
This one, dude, somebody's gonna remember us covering this one just because I got such a big kick out of the way that he framed it. Because when you put it that way, it's like, yeah, I mean, let him fuck pool floats, you know?
Yeah.
A Florida man suspected of multiple pool float thefts told police he has sex with the inflatable rafts instead of raping women.
I think that's a much better thing.
Anybody that wants to stop a man,
Make sure you carry a pull float.
oh fuck, man! The cocaine blew into his face. We saw that.
We watched
one.
that. Yeah, that was last week, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh yeah, that was a recent one. This guy, Florida man, denies syringes found in rectum are his.
I love that when something's in your body and they're like, not mine.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
The belly button was last week.
Yeah, I saw that. That one kept popping up in my searches today, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a good one. That was definitely pretty crazy. I don't know if we talked about this one. I don't feel like I saw it. It's the Florida man says too much music, masturbation made him vandalize home.
No, I don't think so. But they all sound so similar.
He said he vandalized the home because he listened to too much music and masturbated too much, which made him feel like going out and destroying stuff.
Damn, I'm a danger to society then.
What do you think he was listening to?
I don't know. Dubstep and just whacking it all day.
Oh man, I can't imagine him having real good taste in music. For some reason, it always sounds like 96 won the Rocket to me. Like he's still listening to Leonard Skinner. Like I don't know.
That seems very likely too.
Fuck, man. I don't know. I can't possibly, like you said about them all running together. If I were to go back and try to tell you what my favorite Florida man story from this year was, I don't know that I could recall it.
Yeah, no, that's me too. Is like I couldn't. I don't know if I would be able to. Like if I'd be able to remember what's what. I got another one here from this week.
Uh-huh.
It's Florida man caught trying to board a plane at airport with a loaded gun twice in 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What the hell?
Was he trying to go to the same place? Okay, tell me about it.
Let's see. A Florida man has been arrested for allegedly bringing a loaded gun into an airport in upstate New York for the second time. So it was both New York in less than a month. The TSA authorities said the unarmed man was caught with a weapon on Wednesday at Syracuse's Hancock International Airport. Few details about the man. The man was allegedly carrying a .32 caliber pistol loaded with 7 bullets, along with a box containing an additional 41 bullets in his carry-on luggage. The weapon was confiscated by Syracuse police on November 6th. The man was allegedly caught carrying a loaded gun at the airport located about 60 miles from the Syracuse airport. They're bringing Logan to the airport 21 days after being caught the first time.
Jesus, man. Just better luck next time, I guess. Third time's a charm.
My thing is, do you think he was trying to do anything with it? Probably not. He probably just like, I want my gun with me.
Yeah. No, dude, for sure. You got to say.
That being said, don't fucking take guns to airports, but.
I'm looking at a list right now, and we're not going to go over it. I'm just going to post a link to it down in the description on the video or on the podcast. But it's the 90 wildest Florida man headlines of 2019.
Nice.
There's a bunch of them, yeah. All right. So, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and transition over to this week's headline or this week's topics that each of us has brought in. Let's start off with some life-changing events.
All right. You said you had one locked and loaded.
I got 4 that I could think of.
Okay.
Let's see. Obviously, I think as a young person, there are several markers that you feel like you're going to hit that are going to change who you are. There's the 18th birthday when you become a quote unquote adult. There's when you lose your virginity, when you have sex for the first time. It's going to make you an adult. There's turning 21 and being able to legally drink finally. And I find that a lot of these, like, these meters that you believe are going to profoundly impact who you are and make you feel or think differently, or like kind of level you up from one phase in your life to the next. I find that most of them didn't really change anything that much after they happened.
I agree.
But one thing that definitely did change things was marriage. That's something that if you asked me growing up, I would have probably told you I wasn't going to get married. Even the first couple of years of Victoria and my relationship, the idea was to be together and not get married. But then after a while, like feelings and
Things
thoughts
change.
change on that. Yeah, absolutely. And getting married forces you to all of a sudden it's not just about you and your goals and your ideas and your way of doing things, and you've got to actually learn how to cohabitate with somebody else and put other people's needs above your own. And I think that I've been married for 12 years now, and while it didn't feel like a light switch thing of things changing, like looking back in retrospect, I can see how much that had an effect on who I was.
I excuse me, I would agree 100% with that. I've been married a little bit shy of what you have, about 10 years. And not to like shit on people who aren't married, but I definitely notice a maturity level difference with people who are my same age and single. And a thought process difference. And I think it's because you're still in a point where you really just have to care for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. When you have someone else who relies on you, I'm not even saying like financially, but just like relies on you like emotionally, and you're their point of contact for everything. And I don't know, does your wife have family in America?
No.
Okay, same thing with me. So I think like that additionally adds more, because like you're her family.
Yeah.
Same thing with my wife. Like she doesn't have anyone else. It's, if something goes down, it's me and my family who have to do everything, and
Yeah.
it does change your view on everything, on life, on on just everything, that your individual goals suddenly don't seem as important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. What one you got?
So mine, one of them was going to be that, but I feel like you pretty much hit all the points that I wanted to. One that I don't feel like a lot of people go through, that I have been through, was watching someone get murdered. Yeah,
I can imagine.
it's and I was young, 15, and it does a couple of things. Like I think I went through excuse me, man. I think I went through a rebellious stage, partially because of that. And ironically, when you see something that traumatic that young, it kind of for me did the opposite effect, where it had a negative effect of making me think I was invincible, which sounds stupid, but more because like you're like, hey, it can happen at any point in time. So what the fuck's the point? Like you can die, like it happens. And I feel like most people don't deal with it. When they deal with death, most people deal with it in more natural circumstances.
Yeah.
That's most people's exposure. And so that definitely for a while actually made me a worse person. But in the long term, I actually think it's made me into a better person. It's made me more sympathetic to other people. It's made me understand tragedy. And I feel like because of that, when I see someone else going through tragedy, I can draw heavily from my own experience of it. And it's ironically made me into a better person, but also made me appreciate people around me.
Similarly, I guess I was probably 14 or 15 when I guess I was a little older. Maybe I was 16 when the drummer in our band, the first drummer that we had playing our band, died in a car accident. And this girl that I dated for a long time was in the vehicle with him. She didn't end up dying, but had like severe head trauma, brain damage, and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But it's that same at an age when so many people don't consider mortality, at a time when, like you said about feeling invincible, teenagers a lot of times they don't really have the same concept of how fragile and how evasive human life is. And once you lose it, and at such a young age, like same kind of deal, I don't think we processed it well then, but in retrospect, I think that it is partially responsible for me having the outlook and the perspective that I do today, but it was definitely grim. It was definitely like a very bleak thing to go through in high school. And I saw this interesting thing happen, and I think that it happens across the country. I think that it happens across the world. It's this kind of idealization of people who
Yes.
die. They become it's a reflection of everybody's own fear of mortality, and everybody wants to be close to that thing. And I feel like there was like a huge blast radius, and some of the people that I saw that it affected the most were the people that probably had the least real connection
Mm-hmm.
with him. And I thought that was a fascinating thing, just to see the way that I don't even know how to really articulate it other than to say that like people want to be a part of.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that, because I saw that too. Because like I knew the guy, I won't say his name on here, but like I watched him get shot and die right in front of me, and we were friends. I did see the idolization of him. I did it too, and to be completely honest, looking back, and this is a fucked up thing for me to say, but he wasn't a good person. None of us were.
Right.
You know, like we were not the good guys.
Yeah.
And but all of a sudden, like all his sins were washed away, and then you had people who like had one class with him, who all of a sudden wanted to like be involved in it.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, dude, this sucks when you're this close to it. You know, it's not cool. I know you think you've watched a lot of rap videos and you think this shit's cool, but it's not. It sucks.
Tim and Jennifer were definitely both super good people, and there was always that kind of thing. Also, was like, I don't necessarily know that I was, I don't necessarily know that the other guys in the band we weren't like on the same good level as he was. It was like if it were picking the person according to how shitty they were, it would not have been him. You know what I mean?
Not have been my friend. It probably would have, if I'm being honest, and it was gang related.
Right.
So like, I don't want to say like he had it coming, but like,
live
he
by
did
the sword, die by the sword kind of shit.
Yeah, like it was that. It was as a result of stuff he'd done that it came back. You know.
Well, everything doesn't have to be doom and gloom, but one more before we move into some more of the positive life-changing moments. Like I think the death of a parent is when my dad died about 9 years ago. I think that was one of the most profoundly impactful things that's happened to me. For a lot of reasons. Obviously, you've only got two parents, you've only got one dad, and it's like you rely 100% like solely on your parents as a kid. As you start to age into teenage and adulthood, you rely on them less. Your relationship with them changes from a place of being dependent to a place of like, now we are kind of seeing each other as individuals, and less of a place of just like need, but more just like a want to connect, and I always really, really liked my dad. He was a good dude. Always took care of his shit. Super funny, super cool, smart guy. He was like an engineer. And he found out he was sick and had 6 months to live, all within the same amount of time. Like there was no, at the point that they found out his late stage cancer, it was like really too late to do anything about it. And I remember him just like telling me like, hey, I got about 6 months left to live. I just now found out, and just being like, fuck, like the weight of that.
How old were you when this happened?
It was not super young, 25.
That's still pretty young. I have both my parents, so like I that's still pretty young.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough, but it forces you to reevaluate what you yourself are capable of doing and how you are going to navigate it without having that, in my case, having that safety net of like, if anything ever went wrong, where like, oh my God, I just now, and not that this happened, oh my God, I just now lost my job, I have no income or whatever. Oh, well, luckily I've got parents that would help in that situation. And then realizing like, no, you don't have that safety net anymore. If something happens, you are actually responsible for it. And that ultimately everybody's going to hopefully bury their parents. And I know that sounds kind of morbid, but ideally you bury your parents,
That's better than the reverse. It
Right.
just is.
Yeah.
You know?
So I do understand it's definitely a part of life for people. I lost my dad when I was in my 20s. Some people lose their parents way younger than that, but I do
Well,
feel like that's one thing that definitely will affect you, you know?
I've heard from a lot of people you don't really feel like an adult till you lose your parents. You know, like, and I've heard that. Like like I said, luckily I have both my parents, but it's something that I've struggled with because now living states apart, every time I see them, they seem like they got so much older.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, and so yeah, I'm definitely trying to mentally prepare for that inevitable thing.
It
That actually kind of segues into my big one, which was getting cancer.
yeah.
Um, it was life changing because breakdown of kind of how it went down. I went in for a fat cyst on my neck. 2 seconds, the guy touches that and touches his front. He goes, "You ever had your thyroid checked?" And instantly, then I knew it was cancer. I just did.
Damn.
And my wife was like, "No, it's not." My mom was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "You guys don't get your hope up. It's cancer." Like I just knew it. And so I went through all these tests, and this was almost a year to the date. It was around Thanksgiving when I got diagnosed. It was like a couple days before, which going through the holidays having cancer is hard as shit.
Yeah.
Um, and it definitely was cancer. And then they were like, "Okay, well, it's thyroid cancer." And they're like, "So, it is the best type of cancer to have." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And they're like, "Most people survive it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, and it's funny because now people downplay my cancer like crazy. But then after they said like, "Oh, it's thyroid cancer, it's the most survivable," they're like, "But the survivability size of a cancer growth for thyroid is we want to see it less than 1 centimeter. Yours is just shy of 3 centimeters. So we could go into surgery, open you up, and remove the cancer, and it's fine. We could go into surgery, open you up, look at it, close you back up, and say, you got 6 months."
Damn.
And that's a weird thing at 33 years old to hear.
Yeah.
It hits you like a ton of fucking bricks. And my wife was like, it made, she was like, "You were super positive and all that." And it made me weirdly okay with death in a lot of ways. I was more concerned about the people I would leave behind than myself.
Right.
Cause I'm like, if I die, I die. But like, what about my wife? And that was a hard thing to deal with, was like, what about my wife? And my wife wasn't pregnant at the time. And so all I was thinking is like, she always wanted a kid and I didn't fucking give it to her because I waited too fucking long. And there's immense thing of guilt, but now I'm fine. And the good that came out of it is I feel like I've deprioritized a lot of things that really didn't fucking matter. I used to live at my old job, like lived there. And even my new job, when I first started there, because it's commission based, I'm like, I'll work every fucking hour. I used to work off the clock because we weren't allowed to do overtime. I'd punch out and still work just to get sales. And now I'm like, it's 3 o'clock. I'm going home to see my wife.
Yeah.
Like, because yes, money's important. I never want to say that. And we're trying to save for a home and we got, stuff on the horizon. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to remember that. She's not going to remember all the money I can give her. What she's going to remember is the stupid little times we had together. Also, setting up a Christmas tree right after you gotten diagnosed with cancer, the fucking saddest experience in the world.
I can imagine, man.
Oh, dude, it was so hard. Like I remember seeing her, like she was dancing around being a dork and putting up Christmas trees and we're listening to Christmas music. And like I was trying so hard for her not to like just break down in tears because I'm like, this is probably the last time I'm going to see this. Like that's a sobering experience. But I feel like it made me in the long term better. Also because my cancer could come back. We don't know. So it makes you want to be a better person while you're here. And honestly, not that I was a bad husband. It's definitely made me want to be a better husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you told me about it and just like that moment of like, oh shit, how is this going to play out? Is this going to be all right? Or is this going to be like the start of the end,
Yeah.
And then that, pulling out of it's almost like, give you a new lease on life, make you reprioritize and reassess what it is that's actually important.
It really does. And it's funny, like it makes me manage my time better. Like while I'm at work, I work harder while I'm there so that I have time to go home and disconnect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And
for me, this is a weird one, especially because I know so many people that have done it so much better as far as becoming an influencer when they do content creation and stuff. But me starting the podcast when I did, it was after my dad died. It gave me some sense of purpose. It helped me find ways to spend my time. It's helped me connect with people and socialize, all that kind of shit, which in itself is valuable. But it's pushed me into a place where I'm not as afraid to take chances. And as much as I would love to say that, I started making podcasts and movie reviews and now I am get 1 million views a video or whatever, but what it actually did do is connect me with other people that are doing similar things. In particular in the area, I met the guy Steve, who's a good friend of mine, who is the programming manager or the programming director of Pensacon. And so I've been able to moderate celebrity panels and host film festivals and do interviews with cool I don't even want to say celebrities, but actors, musicians, people that I admire, people that I respect, like John Schnepp, who actually passed away a couple years ago. But just that idea of like putting yourself out there and then getting rewarded for that. Like, I honestly believe that the reason why I have the job that I do today, which for better or worse, it's got its share of problems, but it's also a pretty cool job in that it uses the skills that I would have been as hireable for that position had I have not gotten into the audio engineering and video editing and stuff from doing the podcast. So in a way, that's helped me kind of be who I am today in a lot of ways.
that's so for me, it wasn't really podcasting that changed me or YouTube. But for my thing was, so I got into sales a decade ago, and being in sales, it rewires your brain as a person. Like it just does, because you literally pay your bills by talking to people,
Yeah.
and it just rewired my brain to where I am more charismatic. I know how to, like, you can put me in any scenario. It can be a party, it can be anywhere, and I will leave with friends. A perfect example, the other day we were at the grocery store, and it's the day before Thanksgiving. We forgot some things, so we were running there. And I run into this little old lady, and we start talking to her. I start talking to her. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, she's like, come over to our house for, never met this woman, where I'm doing this big Thanksgiving dinner. Why don't you come over? Because I told her we didn't have any family in the state. And things like that is a skill that honestly is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Like being able to just connect with someone really quickly and move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's, yeah. So sales was, even though I didn't think about it until you said it, it was a life-changing experience for me.
And when did you get into it, you said?
About 10 years ago.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I worked construction before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I lost my job. And then I literally found a job I don't work for him, so I can say, for Ben Bridge Jeweler, on Craigslist of all places. I'm like, I'm going to do this for fucking 6 months and bounce.
Uh-huh.
And then I got into sales. I'm like, I'm kind of good at this.
What were you doing? Roofing, carpentry?
Well, I've done. I worked at a cabinet factory. I did roll forming for metal roofing for a bit. I've done distribution center stuff. I've done road construction. I've done all that.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have not pegged you for that, but now that you say it, I get it. Yeah, I did food service for forever, and waiting tables is sort of similar to sales in that it really does. You got to quickly connect with people, and you learn
It's a skill.
Yeah, most definitely. And I also learned the valuable lesson of, like, no matter what you do, you're not going to sync with everybody. If it's 1 out of 100 people who just think you suck, well, then that's pretty good odds. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're going to have those people who just walk up to you and hate you
Just for whatever reason. Yeah, most definitely.
I had a guy who, this was right after, this would probably be a life-changing experience after I lost, all the weight. But I remember I just lost all the weight and I was thinner than I was now. Like I was like working out every day. And this like morbidly obese guy comes into work. And I'm in this like nice 3-piece suit. I'm pretty slender. I'm 6'5" at the time. Like I looked kind of built because of the suit and everything. This dude just hated me right off the bat. Like just a dick. And the suit was probably big, 400 pounds. So I'm just trying to connect with him. And finally, I don't know how, but I purposely slide in that I used to be 400 pounds. And like a switch, this dude likes me all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
And there's people like I think just had a perception of who I was. Turns out he loves comic books and all this shit that I love. But he looked at me and thought, oh, this guy in a nice three-piece suit, probably, was whatever. And he had a totally different perception than who I actually was. And that's sales. People walk up to you and just hate you or like you.
Yep.
And
All right. Well, before we switch over, you got more?
I got one more.
Oh, good.
And this is finding out my wife is pregnant. Has been already, I can imagine when she's here, life altering. It makes you look at everything different. Everything. Things you say, things you watch, everything. Because it makes you look at society different, because there's things that there's ways that I've become more liberal. There's ways I've become more conservative after knowing I'm having a kid, because there's things in society that you're like, I really don't want this for my child,
Mhm.
and it ultimately, like, as much as marriage has changed you, makes you go like, oh, I got another person who depends on me. You're like, holy shit, I have a person who literally can't do anything.
Yeah.
Who's going to depend on me. And it's funny, my wife already says she's already been replaced, that she's the number 2 woman in my life because my daughter's already taken the spot. And it does. Like, you just go, everything, and like little things. Like, I've always been like, love my shoes, love nice clothes. I can't tell you how often I go to the store and I see a pair of jeans or shoes, and I'm like, they're not even expensive because I'm cheap as shit. They'll be like $20 shoes. I'm like, yeah, that could go toward the baby, and it's definitely made me scale down my life in a lot of aspects that were kind of unnecessary.
And that's before having the kid. Here in about 4 weeks, I imagine it's going to be another one of those life-changing events.
I think the second I hold her, it's going to, like everyone says, it's like a switch. The first time, like, I heard her heartbeat was a switch too, because we lost our first. So, we never got to hear the heartbeat. And so hearing her heartbeat for the first time was like a life altering experience. And with this has been a rough pregnancy. We thought we were going to lose her numerous times and all that. So it's all accumulated into this thing of like, I already adore this little girl. She's already amazing. And I've never even seen her.
Do you think that all of these events, do you think they change yourself, like who you are, independent, like your sense of self? Do you think that changes, or do you think that just the way that yourself adapts to the environment changes?
I think those two are interconnected. I think, you adapting to the environment changes the way you see yourself. Like I already see myself as a father, because
Yeah.
I'm going to have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes what you do. Like you adapting to your parents, your father's loss. Like, I'm sure you had to change those necessary things, but it probably made you see yourself as more independent and stronger than you realized you were.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting how that works. And it's like, I just wonder, like, on one hand, I think I'm the same person I mean, obviously I am the same person that I ever was, but I don't feel like, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to try to separate yourself from your actions. Like, who are we if we're not, like, are we defined by our actions, or are we defined by the thing that's inside of us that we perceive to be ourselves,
I think we're defined by our actions.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Heavily.
tend to as well.
Yeah.
I think the
feel
other
like
just lets people off the hook too easily.
Yeah. Because it's like, well, I feel like I'm a good person. You're like, well, you don't do good things.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly is it about you that's good?
Yeah, you self-actualize, you think you're good. That doesn't make you. It's kind of like one person was asking me at work about, well, you've been married forever. What advice do you give me? I said, don't be a shitty person and don't marry a shitty person.
It's reasonable advice.
I'm like, that's the best thing. Because I go, there's people you meet and they're like, oh, my marriage didn't work. And you're like, no shit.
So a shitty person can become a good person, though.
Absolutely. But I feel like you should probably work on that before you bring another person into your life.
Yeah, yeah. And if a shitty person becomes a good person, it doesn't like absolve them of the shitty things they've done.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
I don't have that, like, which I was raised Catholic, but I don't have that Catholic like forgiveness of sins. Your sins you carry with you until you die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your forgiveness of them is changing them and not doing them again.
That's a tough thing to reconcile, is like, no matter how much of a better person I become, like, I still got the baggage of the shitty things that I did, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. For me, it's a positive thing because it keeps me on track going, man, I don't want to continue to do shitty things.
Yeah.
And they just add to that bag of shit that I already have.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll go ahead and switch gears over to something a little more silly with the best moments of 2020. I did not give you any directions. I did not give you any specifics for what I was looking for. How did you take this question? What kind of moments were you looking for?
I literally didn't look for shit. I was like, I'm sure he'll bring it over. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to look at this probably more in terms of the top 10 viral moments from 2020. Did you see the Fartgate
Fartgate
clip from a week or two ago?
No.
All right, yeah, you got to pull that up, man. Just type in Fartgate on YouTube, and you'll find something. I'm sure.
I searched best moments of like 2019, and it was like all politics. I'm like, I just don't want to talk about politics.
Well, so Fartgate could be interpreted as politics, and
Well,
that
yeah,
happened.
but if it's called fart, it's probably not that serious.
So Representative Eric Swalwell appears to fart live on air during Trump impeachment interview. He's on the Chris Matthews show. I'm going to play this for you, audio only, and you tell me if what this is actually a fart. 27 seconds.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Bro, did you hear that?
That sounds like a fake fart.
An election.
Doesn't that sound like?
Cheat an election.
It does. It sounds exactly like somebody put a fart in post.
That's what it sounds like.
An election. And the used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Nobody farts like that, do they?
Like, I don't know.
If that's a perfect, like, if you were on iMovie and you wanted to insert a fart noise, that's what it would sound like. But it happened live on TV, and there's all sorts of people talking about it.
It sounds like it could be that, or like if you had a metal chair moving across the floor, and like.
Yeah. Yes. Like when they like reverberate, like it's getting pulled across the ground and it's vibrating. Yeah, that it does sound like that. Like, or you know those little old school door stoppers that are like a spring where you whack it and it goes. Bah!
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. More like that sort of sound to me.
I just love that it became a thing. Like they talk about it on The Daily Show, Late Night, Evening Standard, The Howard Stern Show, Good Morning Britain, E! News. I mean, it's just like from one side to the other. And then obviously 1,000 different YouTube content creators that wanted to get in on it.
Of course, like us.
Uh-huh. Yes, now 1,001.
Yeah. I'm actually going to look at it, like, while you're covering more stuff. I'm going to go to our YouTube and just see what we've talked about this year, because I'm sure there's something I've covered. I'm like, that was hilarious.
Chris Matthews defended the guy and said that he drug his mug across a countertop. That it does not sound like to me.
It sounds like something being drugged to me, but not that.
No, I don't know, man. Okay, what about the Mayor Pete dance?
What the hell? Where are you finding this stuff?
Bro, I couldn't even. I guess it's just the dumb shit that I watch and listen to. I should probably give a little bit of credit where it's due to, like Internet Today. They have a bunch of funny shit on their weekly internet show.
Mayor Pete dance.
Mayor Pete dance.
Okay, let me see. Is it on YouTube?
Oh, I didn't send you the link. My bad.
No, you just sent me the words Mayor Pete dance, which doesn't tell me. I'm like, I know how to spell.
It is that.
Spell it.
Let's see. The Hill.
Ellen gives Pete Buttigieg. Is that it?
No, it's.
Okay.
Let's see. Mayor Pete dance. It's the song "High High Hopes" by Panic at the Disco, and I don't know who these people are. Sorry about that.
Man.
All right, now I'm sending you the actual link.
Mayor Pete dance.
It's so cringe. But everybody's like, politics have just become so cringe now that you have to have a viral moment. You have to have something that makes
so
you pop
cringy
on the internet.
Isn't it the cringiest shit ever?
It's disgusting because what it means to the future of politics is so grim, but all I can see is all of these fucking white liberals dancing to
I
hide my
hate
hopes.
this.
Are you
This makes me want to shoot myself and them.
I gotta stop the music so we don't get a
Yeah.
copyright claim. But you just need the context of what it is.
Oh my God.
The choreography is on point though,
It
dude.
is so cringy.
I gotta put it on.
That's this whole thing of like owning. One of my least favorite things of 2019 has been the owning the other side on social media.
Yes.
Like being witty. And at the charge of this is Ocasio-Cortez and Donald Trump.
Yes.
Just like social media owning everyone. And you're like, is this what and I think this is what politics has become because of social media.
It is. It
It's like,
is.
who's funnier? Okay, I don't care. I don't care if the dullest person did have good policy.
Please, let's bring it back to policy at some point. Oh well.
It's all celebrity shit.
That Mayor Pete dance. Okay, one more question. Now we're on the topic of politics. This is the kind of shit that I'm concerned with. Is that streak in Tulsi Gabbard's hair real, or is it dyed?
Does she have a streak in her hair?
She's got one really, really fucking cool looking gray streak in her hair. And I think it's a 38-year-old woman putting gray in her hair to make it seem like she's not a 38-year-old woman. She's like, this gray is experience. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is.
No, I don't know. Is this a controversy or is this just a you thing?
No, this is just a me thing. I just when I look at it, I was like, man, I really like that fucking gray streak.
I don't know. I'm into it though. I'm into Tulsi Gabbard just in every way.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's.
I like her attitude. I like her looks. I like everything about it.
Yeah, she's on point. And I love that. Like now she's like a villain because of the last week's debate.
Is she now? Is that the thing? Are they going after her? I knew they were going to go after her eventually.
Well, she pretty much went in on every single fucking Democrat, pretty much all politicians in general. She's just like, we're not playing this bullshit anymore. And that's very dangerous to the status quo, you know?
Which I think we need someone to be like, fuck this bullshit. Let's talk about politics.
Yeah.
She says she went gray in Iraq.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
And she keeps it that way as a reminder to all the people that she lost. I'm like, come on, you were doing so good. Aunt Becky in this is my number 7. Wait, this is my number 8. Is the Aunt Becky goes to jail thing.
Aunt Becky, I literally don't know any of the stuff you're talking about.
This is just Lori Loughlin and the college cheating scandal and how all of these Hollywood people got busted for paying to fake their kids' way into Ivy League schools.
Okay, yeah, that was a big scandal too.
There was a lot of this scandal. It was Felicity Huffman, Lori Loughlin. I mean, William H. Macy is married to Felicity Huffman, but he actually wasn't implicated in it. But they all got in trouble for different sorts of like fraudulently getting their kids into college, ways like staging and photoshopping pictures of their kids performing in sporting events and shit.
I didn't realize they did that far with it.
Oh, dude, it was so crazy. Yeah, they were like, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. College scandal Photoshop. Where is my Google person?
I do have one favorite moment after yours.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
The Jussie Smollett controversy.
Dude, I am so glad you put that in there. That is the one. That's better than this one.
Oh, dude, I was looking at our old podcast. I'm like, what have we talked about? That was the craziest thing. And that even me, like I reacted to it. And then like 2 seconds later, I took down the tree. I'm like, this is bullshit. This did not happen. Within 2 seconds of reading it, one article, I was like, this is fake.
I just took it for what it is. I don't have this general mistrust of the media. I'm like, okay, they say the man got fucking attacked by some KKK people in Chicago. I guess that's what happened. And then in hindsight, you're like, that is the craziest accusation.
Especially the it's mega country that they screamed in Chicago.
Yeah, what?
The best meme that I ever saw though was right after that happened. Remember that was the time that the guy got attacked by that by the mountain lion. He beat the mountain lion up. And there's a picture of that person. It says man attacked by mountain lion who screams, "It's mega country." Now the mountain lion photoshopped the mega cat.
Yes. Yes, that's good. That was the craziest story. The allegations were crazy. What actually happened is even more crazy, that he hired these two just gigantic, looking like they injected themselves with petroleum jelly just all over.
And the thing is, I'm like, you literally didn't know two white people to hire? If this is your narrative you're going with?
No doubt. Dude, what the hell? And they did, like, why did they have to be so big to rough them up the way that they did?
I mean, let's be real. Anyone could rough up Jesse Smollett. Like,
Oh, yeah.
could have been any. And then, like, did you see the actual video of him in the house afterwards?
No.
Where he's sitting there with the noose around his neck?
No.
And the cops are like, they're like standing there, and he's like, "Oh, can you turn them off?" Oh, and the cop even goes, "You still have it around your neck?" Like the cop.
Was it a white cop?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but yeah, why were you wearing it?
Cop right away, you could tell, is like, this is bullshit. You can just see it all over it. Like, hear it in his tone. He's like, you've been sitting here with it around your neck. Well, I wanted you to see it, is what he said.
Yeah.
And then he's like, can you turn off the cameras? Like, well, we need your permission, that you are asking. You think they'd just be like, no, we can't.
Dude, I see those cops immediately have a whole layer of understanding that we don't get just by talking to the guy firsthand and seeing the way that he reacts to questions and hearing his tone of voice and all of the shit that would let you know, like,
This is bullshit.
he's completely lying to us right now.
Well, and then, like, the police force pretty promptly came out and was like, yeah, we're investigating, but, like, you could tell from the attitude of all the cops, it was like, this is bullshit.
And now he's countersuing Chicago.
What for? For slander or what?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, dude, you lied about it. Like, there's nothing to sue there for.
Dude, that was definitely a fucking good one. That one should have been on my list, and it made me think of another one, which in the meantime I forgot, but maybe it'll come back around. Maybe I'll come back around to it. What about the 30 to 50 feral hogs, man?
Which one was that? Did we cover that?
I don't think we did. I don't know how we managed to miss.
How did we miss this?
The 30 to 50 feral hogs, it refers to a hypothetical argument made on Twitter defending the ownership of assault rifles, which posted that such weaponry would be necessary to combat the 30 to 50 feral hogs that run into my yard within 3 to 5 minutes while my small kids play.
That's an apocalyptic scenario right there.
Obviously, it was mocked, and yeah, okay. Implications aside, it's just hilarious to think that 30 or 50 feral hogs will run into his yard within 3 to 5 minutes while his small kids are playing outside.
Have you seen these feral hogs videos? They're terrifying.
Nah, you got pictures of
Dude, they're like the size of, like, they're a little bit smaller than cows. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like in Arkansas.
Let me see.
Like, search feral hog Arkansas.
I mean, I don't want to fuck with them. Oh yeah, those things are huge.
Dude, there's videos of them like eating, like ripping people's dogs apart.
What?
Yeah, they'll like attack dogs and.
How many of them? Dude, if there really are 30 to 50 feral hogs running around, then it's nothing
Like,
to mock.
those things are in Arkansas. Like, it's a problem.
Feral hog invasion. Oh shit. Wild Russian boars invade Texas.
Texas
Wild fighting feral pig problem. Texas wildlife. Texas. There's a lot of stories about it.
It's like a huge problem in the U.S. right now.
Man.
And crazy, isn't that?
Holy shit.
Like, governor of Arkansas signed a thing into action on April 22nd about hunting them because they're so out of control.
I want to see, like, this right here looks like a whole big pack of them. A school of feral hogs. Let's see. That's a family.
Yeah, I want to see school. I don't think they travel like that.
No, they're not rolling deep like that. But if they were, that would be crazy.
That's terrifying.
Oh my God, dude. Imagine the damage that like 2 of them could do.
Yeah, dude. I saw a video of 2 of them. As one of them attack a dog and they like rip this dog's head off.
Oh no.
It's
That's
like,
fucked
it's
up.
terrifying. Like, these things. I don't know, man. I don't see 30 to 40, but I do see packs of like 15.
Yeah, it saw some pretty intense shit too. Like I don't know what the deal is. Let's
I don't
see.
know. I just know I don't want to live in a state with feral hogs.
Uh-uh.
And if so, I'm getting me an assault rifle for when all 30 to 40 of them come in my yard and try to attack my children.
I mean, let's see. If you're on here arguing the definition of assault weapon today, you are part of the problem. You don't know what an assault weapon is, and you know you don't need one. Is that Jason Isabel? Okay, he says, what do you say about the 30 to 40?
I know. I want to hear that part.
Hate when 30 to 50 feral hogs run into my yard. No, never mind. That's people responding to it. All right, well, guys, look, the point is, if you are ever encountering 30 to 50 feral hogs, you're going to want to have some sort of high caliber assault rifle. Really and truly. I don't know what else you do in that situation. I just hope for all of us that you're not ever in that situation.
Washington Post, let's see, has covering it. 3 to 5 minutes. Or like, you think it's an up joke?
Washington Post?
Yeah. Going up. There's 6 million of them in their wrap. They're expanding quickly. In Ohio, 30 were caught in a single trap within a week. So maybe it's not that unrealistic.
No, I mean they're definitely framing it like
shit.
it's for real.
It is funny as hell though when you hear it 30 to 50. But if
oh my God, there's a map right here.
they say they can get up to, their packs are usually can be anywhere from up to 20 in size. So not 30 to 50, but they can be around 20, which is still terrifying.
Yeah, dude. Point taken. Look, if you
Holy shit! I can't believe I've never heard of this whole scandal.
20 fucking feral hogs looks like 50 feral hogs. There's no doubt about it.
I don't want to see one of these things like 20.
Bro, fuck that.
Oh
my
man,
God.
another. Now we're going on a tangent. A herd of feral hogs attacked and killed a woman in Texas on her way to work in Texas, November 26, 2019. So literally just happened.
What? No, that's fair. What happened?
So a herd of feral hogs attacked and killed a woman on her way to work in Texas. This just happened.
Damn.
So a woman caring for an elderly couple was found dead outside her home in rural Texas early after she was attacked by wild hogs, according to officials. The fatal attack is one of the few deaths to occur as an explosion of the population of feral hogs. The caregiver, 59, was scheduled to visit her clients. Body was found between the car and the front door of the house. Officials said, so yeah, she was attacked by a pack of feral hogs.
Damn. That's
Holy
crazy.
shit. The more learning, this is way more real than it sounds.
Damn. Look out for feral hogs. That's
It
crazy.
sounds so ridiculous when you hear it. And you like do laugh, and then you do like 2 minutes of research, and you're like, holy shit, maybe this guy isn't as crazy as he sounds.
What about Storm Area 51?
Oh,
Number
God,
6.
that was one of my least favorite moments of this year.
Why did you not like that?
Oh, I just hated everything about it.
You didn't like the Naruto run part of it?
No, I didn't like any of it.
Man, that shit is so silly. I think it's like I think it's a macro of what general like attendance at a Facebook event
I would agree with that.
Like, what were there? 1 billion people responded that they were going, and like 100 showed up, and that's pretty much all the way across the board. Whether it's birthday parties, fucking raves that some person that you know is throwing, that you're like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna go to that.
Always when you see like protests too, you're always like,
Yeah.
And they're like 2 million people showing up. It's like 50 people.
Yep. I liked it, man. I thought it was funny. I don't know what the inception of the Storm Area 51 event was, like why they did it. Storm Area 51 event. Let's see. We'll get some details here. What really happened, according to Vox? A meme sent thousands into the desert, and they didn't come back totally empty-handed. What? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
All they found were the remains of an online phenomenon. Remember, dude, by the time that it actually happened, everybody had even like moved on to different memes and shit. Like by the
Oh,
time like a week before it happened, it was already fucking over.
Oh yeah, that's how well everything moves so quickly now too. Be it like the news cycle, the internet cycle, it's like minutes.
A 21-year-old from Bakersfield, California, native Matty Roberts, who initially planned to turn this viral meme into a movement. Yeah, at first he was like, yeah, we're going to have fucking DJs and musicians and all of this like porta potties and infrastructure. And then he bailed at the last minute and was like, fuck this. It was a small to here shortly.
Was the Fire Festival this year?
I think so, dude. That's what my transition was. That's what we're talking about now. Let's make sure, though. I know at least the documentaries were. No, because this shit was years ago.
Yeah, I was like
Firefest.
2017. To me, it seemed like this year.
Yeah, it's been a really, really fast. Okay, so the documentary was released January 18th, 2019. So that's how we're able to squeeze this in here. Because
this would get on the list.
dude, Fire and what was the name of the one on Hulu?
It was Fire Festival, and I remember the one on Hulu. I never watched either one.
Oh, you did? Oh, dude, you have to watch both of them because they are the same story told from two different vantage points, focusing on different individuals within each of them. And it makes it so much more fucking interesting because one of the films was produced by Fuck Jerry Media, which are the advertisers that were responsible for promoting Firefest.
Amazing.
And then the Hulu one actually interviews Billy McFarland, who's the guy responsible for all of this shit. It's so interesting, man. It's so interesting. I know it's like it's kind of tabloidy and it's just all very, very memeable. But did you see the what's the guy's name? Fun. I gotta look up his name.
It's funny. Look, while you're doing that, I'm looking at like stuff. I really disconnected from a lot of this year.
It seems like it.
Like I'm like, I don't remember any of this shit.
It seems I had to Google it, if I'm being honest. I had to look at a bunch of other lists to come up with my own list.
Googling, and I'm like, I don't know that. I don't know that. And it's weird because I feel like 2019 has been a really good year for me. I think that's part of the reason why.
Yeah, that's fair. So there's this one guy, his name is Andy King, and you get to know him on the Fire documentary, and he's this older gay investor who happened to really like believe in Billy McFarland, who is just a total swindler, you know?
Really?
So at one point in they're interviewing this guy, and he needs to get, I don't know, 1 million bottles of Dasani water into the country, this little island, and go through customs, but they don't have whatever paperwork or documentation, some shit that they need. And they're interviewing this guy, and Billy basically says, you know, go and see the fucking security agent or whatever, the customs guy. Go and see the customs guy and do whatever you have to do to make him to where he'll let you bring in the water. Implying if you need to do sexual favors for this guy, then you need to do it. And he's basically goes on to say that he would suck his dick to take one for the team or whatever on the documentary. And they ended up just memeing it like with anything you can think of. Man, I got to pull up this clip. That was a horrible recap. Andy King, Fire. Let's see if it takes us just to this segment. Okay, here we go. It's a long clip, but who cares?
Let me tell you something. We had 4 containers filled, 4 18-wheeler trucks filled with Evian water. But I had left the week before for 2 days to go to meetings in Bermuda for the America's Cup. And when I came back, I'd missed the big meeting with Customs. And of course, Customs had said to Billy and the gang, you need to pay us $175,000 in cash today for us to release the water. I went down. Well, Billy called me. I'm going to speak completely, this won't go that far, I'm sure, but Billy called and said, Andy, we need you to take one big thing for the team. And I said, oh my gosh, I've been taking something for the team every day. He said, well, you're our wonderful gay leader, and we need you to go down. Will you suck dick to fix this water problem? And I said, Billy, what? He said, Andy, if you will go down and suck Cunningham's dick, who's the head of customs, and get him to clear all of the containers with water, you will save this festival. And I literally drove home, took a shower. I drank some mouthwash. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I got into my car to drive across the island to take one for the team. And I got to his office fully prepared to suck his dick. But he couldn't have been nicer. And he's like, Andy, listen, I will release all the water. I will let you serve it. But I want to be one of the first people to be paid this import fee for what you're doing. And I said, okay, great. And I got back and I had all the water that we needed. Can you imagine?
He was so ready to just take one for the team.
He's such a nice guy, man. You got to see the documentary. It's like I said, he believed in this kid for so long, but then by the end of it, he's just like, everybody realizes he's completely delusional. Like, he was able to secure millions of dollars from investors just off being able to fucking talk really good, and then could not deliver any of it.
Is that clip from the Netflix or from the Hulu one?
That's from the Netflix one.
Okay, that's the one I want to watch. Anyone where it has that story.
It's so good. It's so good because you were like watching one of the craziest smoke and mirror shows of all time because of the millions and millions of dollars that just disappeared.
This sounded like a guy who was just full of shit, who just bullshitted through everything.
Everything in life, dude. Yeah, crazy, crazy. All right, number 4. Come on, man. Take this journey with me. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, I figured that would be on the list. These are all like worse moments, though.
Dude, that is so fucking funny because it has showed up in the weirdest places. You saw the guy that say it on the news, or did you see that?
So no, but I used it the other day at work because I closed the sale of a company called Epstein something. I won't say the name, but it had the name Epstein in it. So I have to send an email to my boss to actually like proofread, make sure the account's set up properly, and then submit it. So I put Epstein didn't sub himself, and I was very proud of myself.
That's good, man.
It's good.
I don't see why this is not one of your favorite things to happen from this year.
It was all right. It was an all right thing.
I mean, it's probably not funny because it's not a joke, for one thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, this is all like really fucked up shit.
Like this actually, yeah. It's just that like there was a politician who released a series of tweets. Gosar is his last name. He released a series of tweets, and if you read the first letter of each tweet in these 23 different tweets and go chronologically, the first letter of each spells out Epstein didn't kill himself. People were just going deep into it, man.
You love all this like internet shit.
It's so fucking weird to me, man.
It is weird.
And I know in a way I'm just perpetuating it, but we got to call attention to it. Like, what is it about these certain things that get stuck? This one, less weird to me. I understand this one in particular because Epstein didn't fucking kill himself. But the Area 51 thing, it's pretty weird, dude.
The Area 51 thing is just bizarre. It makes me... It's such an internet age thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I can tell I'm getting older because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you?
There's, there's a bunch that I could have touched on that I'm not even, like the chicken sandwich thing. That to me, not all that cool.
No, not cool. People were dying over chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, man. But the Bagel Boss is coming in at number 3 on my list. That is one of the most.
Bagel Boss.
Bagel Boss was the little tiny guy in the bagel store.
Oh, I do remember this.
Who melted down because he thought all women were saying he was short or some shit.
Didn't this come out that he was like a YouTuber who does like pranks like this?
He's a YouTuber. I actually, once I saw that this guy had a YouTube channel, I started following him, and now every time he uploads, I'm one of the first 100 to 200 people there watching his content. And it's not what you think it is. It's not.
Oh, so it's not like shit like this?
It's not calculated in the way that like it's not manufactured, man. It's 100% authentic. There's a reaction video of him watching himself in the fight.
Really?
It's the most like meta, weird fucking thing to see him like processing it as he's, oh dude, I don't know. But if you watch his channel, Chris Bagel Shop,
You just brought up one that is 2018 but spilled into 2019 for
go
my
ahead.
favorite. No, finish yours and then I'll.
Okay, so Chris Morgan is what the guy's name is. He's got 47 videos. He's only got 9,000 subscribers. As I said, I'm fucking definitely one of them. He's done stand-up. Like, he dressed like a juggalo and went on stage to do stand-up comedy. It's disturbing. Everything about it's a fucking train wreck, you know?
Is it intentional train wreck? Like, is he trying, like, that's his shtick?
Yes and no, though. That's the thing. It's like you can tell he's trying to capitalize on his fame from it, but he's completely insane. You know what I mean? Like fucking off the deep end crazy. So anyways, I recommend everybody subscribing to this guy and enjoy the show.
So one of my favorites is the It's Ma'am from GameStop.
Oh, bro, that was the one I was thinking of just now when I was like, I lost it and it's going to come back to me. That is so fucking funny, dude.
And then remember, for people who, if they didn't catch the podcast, one of my favorite things is the interview on, because he's from my hometown. And one of the things is the interview on local news that he did after that is the funniest thing, where he talks about being an advocate and he does trans right rap music. And then I went down the rabbit hole and was like, holy shit, I personally know this dude.
Oh, you did. You told me that, man.
That I was like, I saw a music video of him when he was still a man where he's like rapping and stuff. And I'm like, I've met this guy. Like, I didn't know him, but I've met him like 3-4 times. And he was a weirdo, always a fucking weirdo. And I was like, and he always tried to be all like hard and tough and all this shit, you know? And now just see that this is one of the most bizarre stories.
Apparently she spent 3 years in prison.
I believe it.
Okay, that was funny. And I got a meme the other day. Ma'am, GameStop, Prince Adam. I'm going to try to send it to you, but it's a picture of Prince Adam from He-Man.
Yeah.
And he's lying in bed awake, and there's an alarm in front of him that says 5 a.m. and the caption says, me still trying to get to sleep after being so angry for being called ma'am in GameStop. And I thought it was the funniest fucking meme, but somebody in my Facebook group reported it.
Of course I did.
I kicked him out of the group.
Yeah, because you're not being woke enough. Here's my thing is, I'm super like, whatever, do what you want. Cut off your penis, call you whatever you want. I don't give a shit. But that doesn't give you a right to be a douche. If you're a douche, we're able to make fun of you. Your identity doesn't protect you from being a douche.
100%. Yeah, that one person in particular, like, you don't get to be the monolithic voice of fucking trans people, you douchebag.
This person hurts trans people. It doesn't help them.
Yeah, 100%.
The best one meme I saw was because that was right around the time Aquaman came out, and was one that said Aquaman, and it was his face photoshopped onto it.
The GameStop ma'am gets a Funko Pop figure.
That's another one that just happened.
Oh man, that's so fucking good. I love it. It's
people
just
are always
ma'am.
freaking out in GameStops.
Let's see. Oh, okay, dude. The Cybertruck unveiling. Did you see the footage?
Yes, I didn't see the footage. I saw the truck, and I'm one of the minority who wants one of these things.
Oh, dude, I think it's a fucking marvel of engineering.
Me too. I think it's the coolest fucking car I've ever seen. Thank you for finally someone agreeing with me.
I literally, people are like, it's so fucking ugly. Everybody's been making fun of how ugly it is. And look, if you think it's ugly, I understand. Me and Caleb, like you're one of your favorite movies is Blade Runner.
Yes.
End of fucking story. It's retro futurist. It looks like what we thought the future was going to look like when I was fucking 5 years old. And that's why I fucking love it. Thank you very much.
It is the coolest car ever.
It's so fucking dope, dude.
That was me too. I should have figured you'd be the one person who would agree with me.
Yeah. Come on, man. I do understand what people are responding to. That's what we like about it, I think.
Yes, they're like, oh, it looks like, and I also don't think most people, if you said retro futurist, wouldn't even know what that means.
Yeah.
You know, like, so they're just like, this is an ugly car. I'm like, dude, that's the point is it's not supposed to be sleek. And let's be real, all cars are pretty much ugly.
Yeah, yeah. In new body styles of cars in particular, it's like, oh, I love Mustang, and then the new one comes out, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like that, and then it takes a
Yeah.
couple years, you know?
And someone was like, "Oh, my friend was like, this looks like a DeLorean." I'm like, first of all, don't knock the DeLorean. At least
Right.
was not that thing was cool and different.
Mm-hmm.
People, but you know, people are they just like the same shit repackaged to them over and over and over again.
I don't love the new Mustang SUV, but I do love the freaking emblem on the front of it. It is so
Mustang SUV. I didn't even look at it.
the emblem on the front of it has got a neon light behind it, and it just looks so cool.
Really?
Yeah. I just now sent you a link via Twitter. When you get a second, you can look at that you were just
Okay.
now looking at. But I wanted to play this clip for you guys that maybe didn't see it. It is.
Yeah.
He takes a metal ball to test the armored
Yeah.
glass.
Oh my fucking god. Well,
Did you hear Elon?
Yeah.
maybe that was a little too hard.
Oh my fucking god.
Sorry?
Should we try it on the rear?
So
No.
that's a plus side. Let's try the rear. Try that one, really? Okay. Sure. Oh man, it didn't go
Yikes. It didn't go through.
through. All right.
Why the fuck did they do that, man?
So they're throwing a metal ball at the glass?
Did you watch the video?
No, it wasn't like I didn't
Oh,
want to
okay.
play it. I didn't know if you would pick up audio.
Oh, yeah, I would have. Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'll cut it out.
Let's see. Yeah, because I was like, I didn't want it to play in yours and then just get double audio.
Yeah, that was smart.
Can you hear that, or can you not even hear it anyway?
I can't hear it.
Oh, then you wouldn't even got audio anyway.
It don't matter. People
Let's see.
people come to hang out. They come to hear my ASMR of me
Dude,
rubbing
this
my
is the
beard.
coolest car. It's amazing. The brake light, everything is perfect.
Did I send you
That's-
the wrong fucking video?
That's cool. It's the one of them throwing the ball. It's really cool. I think that's awesome.
Dude, it shatters the fucking window.
Yeah, but it didn't go through it. If you threw that in your car window, it would go through it.
You think?
Yeah, even with the tempered glass.
I don't think it was supposed to do that, man.
No, I don't think it was either. But I think it's still, the tech's not 100% there. I think it's better than a normal window.
That's just, man, that's the thing about Elon Musk is he fails spectacularly. Like he takes
He
the
really does.
hugest swings, man. And it's like people, Elon is an interesting character that people love to clown on and make fun of. And I think even those people have to acknowledge that, like, he's responsible for some of the most sophisticated fucking tech the world has ever seen. Now that Teslas are finally on the road, dude, they are so cool. And
I think they're awesome.
yeah, they're fantastic. I feel like he takes really big chances, and the fact that they didn't do this ahead of time is just that problem is easy to fix. I just don't know why
agree.
they didn't do it ahead of time.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like it's definitely one of those things they could have taken, you know, yeah, they could have just tested.
Yeah, fuck, you would think.
Or
I mean,
maybe they did and it didn't, it happened differently in the testing room.
yeah, maybe it was a
maybe-
different guy that threw it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm thinking if you threw that through, I've seen balls of hail go through windows like they're like they're paper.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Let's see. Car window shatters. I thought they all spidered.
Yeah, but look up Denver hail windows. I mean, I know they're coming fast, but
Denver.
I'm sure you can find. They just like punch the holes straight through them. So I'm like, I think this would be.
I'm sure
I
that
think-
metal ball was heavy as shit.
That being said, these aren't bulletproof, obviously, like he says.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, you're right though, dude. These Hellstorm just put holes straight through the windshields.
Yeah, like I remember this happened in my neighborhood, like 2 years ago, and I remember just watching it happen to cars, just getting straight through it.
Holy shit. Yeah, dude. Not even just like one hole in them either. Like they bust out the entire windows.
They literally like would just, they were like punching holes through it.
All right. Well, let's see what else we got. Cybertruck unveiling. And you did Let's see. I don't know how I feel like I missed one, but the Cybertruck was the first one.
The Cybertruck is the number one, man. That's the coolest thing of this year.
Yeah, I want one. They start out at just $40,000.
Yeah, dude.
I don't understand how they're able to manufacture them and sell them for that cheap.
And my thing is, I'm worried that they're not going to look anything like this by the time they actually get on the market.
I wonder when you can buy them.
I think it's sometime in like 2022.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think they're not going to look anything like this because just like movie effects and all that, people with unartistic eyes are bitching on the internet, so they'll adjust it.
And a lot of concept cars have come out looking very
Different
than what they actually end up looking like. Yeah.
It's a concept car. I want that car. Like I'm not a car guy at all. That's the car. That's like my dream car. If someone said, "What's your dream car?" It's that.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And I'm not either. Like maybe you shouldn't take my word as gospel on that goes, but yeah, I think it's one of the coolest looking things. It's probably the coolest looking truck I've ever seen.
Oh, I agree. It's easily the coolest.
Well, good stuff, guys. Anything else from 2019 that really hit your funny bone? Let us know down in the comments section. And also, what do you think about the Tesla Cybertruck? Is it the coolest or is it the worst? Let us know down in the comments section, and we will let you know why we think you're right or wrong down in the comments section.
If they hate it, they're wrong.